Good morning. Good morning to everybody. We are very happy to have you all here. The stalwarts of AMSIT and AMSIs are here. I can see the guest list. Welcome, sir, senior professors, faculty members, juniors, students, and it is going to be a very important session regarding finance from a very famous man in Goa, as well as in financial sector. Many people have known about him. I read his internet collections, everything. Dr. Celso Fernandez, even before knowing him, one of his clients has given approval of his credibility, his dedication. He has opined about his honesty, punctuality, and consistency. So Goa's very own financial doctor, Dr. Celso Fernandez, put our minds to really rest with a session, how to make money even while sleeping. I was really admired by that word in the internet. I think if he can tell me a way how to make money when I'm sleeping, probably I'll be in debt to him in my life. Dr. Celso Fernandez is from Goa. So few words about the Goan tradition. Feni is Venkatachalapati, Professor Venkatachalapati is there, because in the early 90s itself, Professor Venkatachalapati told me in the beaches of Goa, when we could not walk faster, he was walking very fast. He said, Feni helps me a lot in maintaining the lung capacity, and I could walk better in Goan beaches. So that was a 4C on COVID also. Feni improves us all respiration capabilities and lung capacities, which is very useful for COVID, I think. So when I asked Reena ma'am, who is from Goa, you know, our Dr. Reena Jan, she studied from her school. She did her schooling in Goa, and she knows she's a friend of Dr. Fernandez. And when I asked her about how to make Feni, she said they didn't teach her how to make Feni in school. So Venkatachalapati, those days in 90s when we were in Goa itself, he told that it is a very good healing medicine. And the entire scenario of today's seminar will be on basics of financing, because we are not going to solve the problems of 5 trillion projection of economy today itself. It is going to be a basic of finance sector, and he is going to teach us, he is going to sow a seed on us. விதைக்க போறார், அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அது மரமா முளைச்சு பழத்தை நம்ம சாப்பிட போறோம். So he is going to sow a seed within us, and we are going to invite him in subsequent seminars to enlighten more on advances in finances also. So today, Dr. Fernandez will speak to us regarding the basics of finance and how to handle it in this crisis situation. So he will be talking more on financial freedom and financial stringiness in these circumstances. I welcome Dr. Fernandez to take over, and over to Dr. Fernandez. Dr. Fernandez.
Yeah. Can I start the thing?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So first and foremost, a very, very good morning to all of you present here today. And I must say a very, very big thank you for giving me this platform to just share some of my experiences in this world of finance. Basically, being a dentist and being actually Dr. Reena's classmate and buddy, I should say, I was definitely very, very happy when she told me, yes, so why don't you come and give us a talk for our association, because I'm the president now. I said, definitely. And this talk will be one of the most memorable ones, which I can definitely assure you, because I've done it for many IDA branches all across India, including in FemDent, we have been doing it. And most of the dental associations, wherever I've spoken, the acknowledgement what we got is terrific, in the sense this session is really, really required for the dentists. So what I'm going to do today is basically in short, like give my journey of how I could become financially free before I touch 50. Means how could I retire even before 50? And that also with a pension, which is almost 100 times more than my salary. So that also I will show you exactly how in a story form, and plus the main rules that the rich follow. It's basically if you follow these golden rules, anybody can become rich. So what I'll do is I will share my presentation. I'll share the screen first because there are a few slides on it. Because what you see, you can actually remember, but what you just hear, you might even forget, but at least you can see it and you'll be able to remember the things. So I'll just make this as a full screen. One second. Yeah. Yeah. So can you all see the screen?
Sir, you have to share the screen, sir.
Okay.
Share screen option is there, right?
Okay, one second. I'll just close this. Get down. Yeah, okay. Just 1 second. Yeah, now you'll be able to see it. Make it full screen. Can you see now?
So we are able to see your screen.
Yeah, you can see now.
Yeah, we are able to see your
Okay.
screen.
So
Perfect, sir.
yeah, so now I'll just continue with this. See, basically, financial literacy, as per my way of looking, I have made this is my tagline, which I always believe in. Financial literacy can be the strongest weapon to eradicate corruption, poverty, as well as disease. Now, if I've seen through my life experience, what I have noticed is why people struggle is mainly because financial literacy is not taught in schools. Now, when I happened to visit Surat, that is in Gujarat, and I was luckily called as a speaker in Gujarat, what I noticed that is in Gujarat, even the 9th standard students know whatever I was speaking because the word investments is there ingrained in their blood. So they know exactly. And because of that, even by the time they reach the 10th standard, they all know exactly what they are going to become in life. But that when I come and see like in the state of Goa, like Goa University produces almost around 14,000 graduates per year. But even if you go to the highest financial level, that is MBA Financial Services, in Goa University, we have around 120 graduates passing out from MBA Financial Services. But when I did my presentations in their classes, because I'm the resource person for them, when I do the presentations there itself, I noticed not even one student who is doing MBA finances has started investing. So I'm just wondering, when are they going to start learning about investment? They only learn book knowledge, but practical knowledge is not there at all in MBA financial services. So what I've seen is, imagine if they don't know, how will you expect the other professions to know? And why is it that this thing is not taught in our college life? Like I'll tell you in my experience, I passed out from Goa Dental College in 1990 and finished the internship in 91. And I was very, very fortunate that I was in private practice right from day one. I didn't even have one single day when I was not earning from the day I started my internship, because I was already in private practice right from the time I was doing internship itself. And within 1 year, I set up my own clinic. And from that time, from 92 right up till 2008, I set up total 3 clinics and plus a dental lab, because I was the secretary for IDA Goa branch. I've organized as an organizing secretary 6 Goa State dental conferences. So we had the contacts with all the dealers, with all the suppliers, all the Aditi members. And because also I was the Central Council member for almost 8 years, out of which 2 years I was the chairman for continuing dental education, that is CDE secretary in IDA head office, that is in Mumbai. So we used to travel and attend a lot of IDA conferences, all state conferences, specialty conferences. So as a secretary of CDE, I have attended a lot of dental seminars and all these things. And what I have noticed is I have never ever seen a financial literacy talk in a dental conference. So that irritated me more. And then after in 2008, the biggest mistake and the biggest learning in my life, it was after 18 years of practice. Imagine I had gone to attend the APDC conference in Delhi. And for that, I had to be in Delhi for 5 days for the conference. And then another 4 days, we went for sightseeing to Ludhiana, Amritsar, Wagah border. And then we came back to Goa after 10 days. We were a group of 5 dentists. We came back to Goa after 10 days. And the date was exactly 31st of August 2008. And the biggest shock of my life, which I got, was for the next month, I did not have money to pay my staff salaries because my current account was showing just somewhere around 10 to 12,000 rupees. And I had four offices, means three clinics and a lab which was running. And I had to pay a salary of almost around 70,000 rupees. But that month, I could not afford to pay 70,000 rupees to my staff just because before the conference, whatever balance was there in the current account, we took it because it was a big exponent. So we'll definitely buy new materials, definitely some equipment, and you have to carry cash with you when you go for the dental conference because new materials, new things come. And then I asked to myself, now 10 days I lost practice. I was out of the clinic for 10 days. But the biggest surprise was income was zero for 10 days, which means even after working for 18 years as a dentist, I was a daily wage worker. And I said, this happened in 2008. And I said, imagine if by chance, if I just meet with an accident and I just fracture only my thumb and I'm not able to hold instruments, will I be able to do dentistry? And then what will I do after that? How will I manage my life? And luckily, I remembered one book which I'd read, that Rich Dad, Poor Dad, wherein in that book, there was one sentence, rich never work for money. Instead, money works for them. It's only poor and middle class who have to work till they die. And then when I started looking at myself, having 3 clinics and being a daily wage worker was the biggest insult of my life. And I said, this, I have to do something about it. And then I started reading more and more books on finance. And finally, I got the secrets what it is. Rich people have got certain habits which middle class and poor don't know at all. And if you follow these habits, anybody can become rich. And these books were actually written almost more than 2000 years ago. There are many of them, but there are books, and the rules are very, very, very simple. Anybody who follows these rules has to become rich. Like I have followed it from 2008, and by 2018, I have already become rich. And then I understood what exactly it is. But first 18 years of my life, the total focus was totally different. And I used to think the more patients I treat, the more successful I am. The more I learn about dentistry, yes, the more successful I am. But finally, when you become successful is when you can start making money while sleeping. Like how Dr. Subramanian said, yes, when you start making money while sleeping and you don't even feel like charging a patient who is in pain. Say, suppose a patient comes with a big abscess and you're just relieving and prescribing and you say, madam, please, you go take care of it. Forget about the charges. Now we are not worried about charges. First you get all right and then you come. You won't imagine this patient will touch your feet. But the day you start running after money and say, no, first you pay, then only I'll treat you, then you will lose your respect immediately. And why this is happening? It's only because there's lack of financial literacy in colleges. And because of lack of financial literacy, I have taken up my mission to educate people as far as possible. And my main mission is I want to make a difference to the lives of our college students so that by the time they reach 25, they are not dependent on their parents. Then all the students who are under me, we have one resolution. If we want to get married, we have to get married at our cost and not parents' cost. We should not be depending on our parents even at the age of 25. Parents should not feed us even at 25. You check in Gujarat or you check in any foreign country, once the child is 18, automatically the child starts learning methods of how to create investments on his own. And even if they want to do post-graduation, they will do it on their own cost. They might take loans, but they will do it at their own cost. Whereas in most of the other states like Goa, I don't know, in Tamil Nadu, we as parents have to pay for the children's education right up till the age of 26. And after that, we only have to get them married also. We only have to do it. And then finally, they don't know anything about money management because no one teaches us in college. So because there's no teaching, we have come out like I have seen that the strongest weapon that can eradicate corruption, poverty, and disease is definitely this. Because if you take disease, 90% of your diseases are more psychological rather than physical. And the biggest cause of all these diseases is financial stress. If you remove financial stress, I can give you guarantee 90% of your diseases will disappear. Like diabetes, blood pressure, kidney failures, everything will disappear if in case you don't have financial stress. But if you have financial stress, 90% of the diseases are actually caused because of it. So if you listen to this presentation and I show you the 5 simple rules which the rich follow. These are the 5 golden rules which are engraved in a gold disc in my office, because I know that these are the best rules that you can follow. If you follow these rules, you take it from me, within 7 to 8 years, your money plant will grow in such a way that you will get fruits throughout your life. But why people don't grow rich is basically because they don't know certain terms and conditions, which I'm going to start with the first 5 rules. So the first rule is never remain dependent on a single source of income. Create assets that will generate for you a passive income. Now, what is the difference between an asset and a liability? Asset is something which gives you an income. Liability is something which takes away your income. Asset is something which appreciates in value. Liability is something which depreciates in value. And if you see in a real life, most of the poor and middle class feel that, like, say, for example, a car. The poor and middle class will take it as an asset, whereas the rich will take it as a liability. So what they do it, usually they'll buy cars at the cost of the company and take it as an expense from the company rather than on their own personal cost. Whereas poor and middle class feel that the car is an asset, so they will start taking it as a luxury. So like this, there are many things, like now even a home. If you check and see, poor and middle class feel that a home is an asset, whereas the rich people always say that the home is a liability. So they'll have a small home. They will not spend much on luxuries, but they will start creating assets. So assets is something that generates income, whereas liability is something which takes away your income. So anytime you think of anything, ask, like now say for example, a mobile phone. Now in my case, I use my mobile for business, so it becomes an asset. When some other people, mobile is used for pleasure or for communicating on WhatsApp or emails. So that is more of a pleasure. So that becomes a liability. So now in this case, when it is a liability, if you think of buying, say, an iPhone, which is costing 1 lakh of rupees, the price keeps on depreciating. When you try to resell, it becomes not even 10, 20,000 rupees you'll get on the resale. So it is a liability. Whereas now, if I'm using it for my business purpose, I have all my 10,000 contacts on it and I'm on every day using it. So now I'm making my mobile into an asset. So this becomes an asset, but the same mobile can be a liability for someone else. So you have to see that whatever you use, is it generating income for you or is it taking away your income? So assets and liabilities are different. So now what we have noticed is there are basically 3 ways of making money. One is called as your earned income, wherein you work, you get paid for it. Like what we as dentists treat patients and the patients pay for us. This is called as earned income. Passive income is what comes from your assets. Now you have some offices, it means you have a shop on rent, house on rent, and you get a rental income. Or say, for example, you get a royalty income. Like I have written books, so every time they sell the books, automatically we get a royalty income, but that is called as passive income. There I'm not working, but my assets are working for me. So that is called as passive income. And there is something what we call it as portfolio income, wherein your money starts working for you. Like now currently, say I have around 1 lakh shares with Cipla. Means 1 lakh shares I've invested in Cipla, and Cipla just declared a dividend of 14 rupees per share. So which means I earned around 14 lakhs on it by holding the shares of Cipla. I earned without working. In the sense, I'm getting this 14 lakhs as dividends from here. So that is called as dividend income or portfolio income. Now, till the day you're dependent on your earned income, you're basically a slave of money. In the sense, you have to work for money. And the day you start making money either from your passive income or portfolio income, then money starts working for you. Now, if by chance your passive income overtakes your earned income, then you become financially free. But if your earned income is more than your passive income, then you're still a daily wage worker. So you have to make your passive income or portfolio income more than your earned income. So the day it becomes more, like now say for example, from your practice, you're getting around 1 lakh rupees, but from your investments as well as from your assets, you're generating around 1 lakh rupees. So now you're having 2 sources of income, one earned, one passive. And the best part about it is earned income is taxable, whereas passive income can be tax-free also. There are ways of making it tax-free. So you can make it tax-free as compared to your taxable income. So automatically, once your this passive income overtakes your earned income, then you start becoming financially free, because you can say, even if I don't work, still I'm earning. I can already start making money even without working. So, and the best part of it is when this earned income, means the passive income, becomes more than your earned income, in the sense like now, say for example, in my case, my earned income used to be 1 lakh, but in 2008, my passive income and portfolio income was 0. Why? Because money was rolling all into dentistry. The moment the bank balance used to touch around 1 or 2 lakhs, go for another conference, attend some other session, get some new materials. So money was just rolling into the clinic in the money. And after 18 years, I just said, what has happened? Where is my savings gone? And the thing is, what I noticed is money comes, money goes. Where it goes, God only knows. It's like I didn't know where exactly this money is gone for the last 18 years. And from that day, then I started realizing, and I made a resolution that before I touch 50, I will retire. And I want to retire by 50, because by 50, I'll complete 27 years of practice. And I said, 27 years is long enough for dentistry. Then let me follow my passion, whatever I like. If I want to continue in dentistry, I will do dentistry, but I will have the freedom to the choice to decide what I should do. But I should not be waiting for that money to come from there. I should be able to generate money while sleeping. So for that, then comes rule number 2, which I started doing. And this is the very, very important rule. Don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Now, in this, there's a small difference, a very easy answer to do this. If you see all the poor and middle class, they follow this simple rule. Income minus expense is equal to savings. This is middle class and the poor. Income minus expense is equal to savings. Whereas if you want to be rich, it is income minus savings is equal to expenses. Always remember, rich people always pay themselves first and then pay others. Whereas poor and middle class, they pay others and they forget to pay themselves. Wherein, like now say, as dentists, we pay staff salary to everybody, but we forget to pay salary to ourselves. Can you imagine if for 18 years, I had to just pay 5,000 rupees salary and put it into PPF account? At the end of 15 years, the total amount created would be 52 lakhs of rupees. And 52 lakhs, even with the interest of 8%, gives me almost 30,000 per month as interest. So imagine earning 30,000 per month without working. And that is by putting in PPF, because that time I knew only PPF. But for us, PPF was whatever is left after spending, the end you will go and put in PPF just because of tax saving, because we had no goals. But after I decided that, okay, by 50, I want to have minimum 1 crore with me, I set that goal and I started working on that goal. And I just asked myself, what is the salary that I'm paying to my staff? And the lowest one was getting 8,000 rupees. So I started investing 8,000 rupees in my name, and every year increased to by 2,000 rupees per year. It took me exactly 5 years to cross the 10 lakh figure. But in between, there was a lot of temptation to withdraw that money. I said, no, I will not touch it, because I want to retire by 50. And the best part happened exactly in the year 2013. In 2013, my portfolio was somewhere around 11 lakhs. And the best part of it is, by chance, I just took out 60,000 to make a trip to Dubai. So automatically, it should have been 10 lakhs, 40,000 there. But when I went to Dubai and I came back, the biggest surprise is within 2 months, my 10 lakhs 40 again became 11 lakhs on its own, because it was growing at 18%. And the best thing happened after in 2014. The Modi wave came, market shot up like anything, and my 11 lakh portfolio touched 25 lakhs within 1 year. And then I said, this is terrific. I said, how can it be like this? And that is the time then I started taking interest into equity markets, learning about what is shares, learning about mutual funds. And fortunately, I took that passion so hard that is the time I started noticing my passion started changing. And when I noticed it is when I went to attend one of our CDE programs. Mr. Arvind Shenoy was one of our top speakers at that time. And for the first time in my life, within 15 minutes, I fell asleep for a dental lecture. When I fell asleep, I understood that my passion in dentistry is gone. This was the first test which I had. And from that time, I said, let me see on the financial side. My passion started increasing so much. So in all the flights, even which used to go in the night, like we used to travel from Mumbai to Singapore and all, so many trips I've made, it was night flights. Even though I could not get proper sleep, I could manage to read a full book on one journey and stay awake the whole night and read books. And that is on finance. So that itself showed what was my passion. So once I did this, and luckily one day we had a very good training by Kapil Dev. We were the top financial advisors of the country, and Reliance Mutual Fund had sponsored a talk by Kapil Dev for us. And in that, Kapil Dev revealed some few secrets of all the successful people. And fortunately, in the financial line, for every conference, we have one top sportsman who comes and addresses us. Like last year, we had Mary Com who came and addressed. And every year, we have one sports person. Like when Kapil Dev addressed, he just shared one secret with me. He said, are you aware why is it that Indians, whenever they win a test match or they win one-day internationals, they will win 3 matches or 4 matches and then they'll lose the 5th one. Again, they will win 2, 3 and then again they'll lose. That consistency is not there. Whereas if you see Australian team, if they win one, they will win for 16 matches in a row. If they will not have anything. So what is the secret behind this? And he said it's very, very simple. Indians work on weaknesses, Australians work on their strengths. So he said one thing, if you want to be successful, first identify your strengths and work on your strengths. Your weaknesses will go on its own. And this one sentence changed my whole life. And because of that, now I'm just with my strengths. I know what are my strengths. So I'm working on my strengths. And with that, I'm making a difference to so many people's lives. So this is one thing which I'm telling you. Don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. So with that, you'll be able to actually do. So if you start following this one simple rule, because most of us forget to pay salaries to ourselves. We just keep money lying in the bank and it is there. So we don't manage to do the things properly. Now coming to the third and most important thing is saving is good for short term, while it is really bad for long term because money doesn't grow. Investing is bad for short term, but very good for long term. And trading and speculating is basically for the middle class. So if you see the difference, let me explain to you these 3 words. What is saving, what is investing, and what is trading? If you know these 3 words, 90% of your job is done. Saving is basically keeping money aside for the future so that whenever we need it, we can use it. That is called saving. Like now I'm putting money into PPF. It will take around 15 years to mature. And I know at the end of it, I will get some lump sum, which I can use for whatever expenses I require. This is called saving. I'll put money into an LIC policy because I know it will mature after 15 or 20 years and I will get a lump sum, which I can use for my future. This is called saving. This is not called investing. Investing is I'm putting my money into one asset so that I generate income from it regularly. Like now, I'm investing into a dental clinic so that I get income from it regularly. So I'm investing into an asset. That is called investment. Like now I'm investing into a company. Like I'll give an example. I'm investing into HDFC so that I buy adequate number of shares of this company so that I get dividends every year. But I don't buy and sell, buy and sell. Buying and selling is trading. Trading is putting some amount in the mutual fund and after 1 year, because it's not performing, changing from one fund to another. So keep on changing and rotating the funds and finally you'll get no returns, because if you do trading, you cannot become rich. If you want to be rich, you have to be investing, and investing basically is holding an asset. So you create an asset which will start generating income for you. So you invest in the dental clinic so that it starts generating income for you. But there are 2 options. Now you either invest into your own business or you invest in somebody else's business. But what is the difference? If you invest in your business, you have to work 24/7. But when you invest in somebody else's business, they will work and pay you the profits. So now which one is better? Investing in your own business or investing in somebody else's business which is doing very well? Like now imagine I invest into a company like say Cipla and I hold around 1 lakh shares of that company. I have not even been 1 day to that company. I don't know who are the managers, but automatically I have more than 10 lakh staff working for me. And the dividends I get by sleeping at home, I'm just getting that money. And if you check all the rich people in India, they invest in a very, very few companies. Like now, say for example, now I'll give you the difference between Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. Now, Mukesh Ambani has invested major chunk of his investments into Reliance Industries, which is a part now Reliance Jio. But he has got just limited company, just 1 or 2 companies. Whereas Anil Ambani had invested into different sectors, in the sense in defense sector, this sector, so many sectors he tried, even in mutual funds. He has tried so many sectors, but out of all of them, just 1 or 2 of them have failed. So he had to sell off even the other ones. So because of that, putting your eggs in too many baskets, there are no returns also and no this also, means no security also. But when you select a company you have to be with that company for long. And before selecting, analyze. Like I'll just give an example now. If you stay in a mutual fund and say, for example, now you take any fund, like now I'll give you an example, say Access Multi-Cap Fund. Now, Access Multi-Cap Fund was started about 2 years back. The NAV had touched somewhere around 12. And say on an average, you have already bought 10,000 units at an average price of 12 rupees. Today, the market is down. The price is now 10 rupees. What would you do? If you were a saver, you would have panicked and said, I'll sell it off because it's showing negative, it's showing red. So it's making losses. So you would have sold it off as if you were in the poor sector. If you were a middle class, you would have started looking and doing what to do. And then you start listening to CNBC and all and start saying, what is this market is going to go up, down, up, down. So you'll now have peace of mind. But if you were rich, you would have taken this as an opportunity and bought another 10,000 units at the price of rupees 10, brought down your average, number of units increased to 20, and now your average is around 11. Now, even if you hold it there for that time, just leave it for 5 years. With inflation itself, the NAV will go back to 20 within 5 years. But imagine if you're holding 20,000 units. 20,000 units into 20 is 4 lakh rupees. And with every rupee that the NAV increases, you're making 20,000 rupees profit. Today, we have got clients here. Like today morning, I was doing a client who was having almost 3 crores. In 3 crores, but it was almost going into around 14 funds. From 14 funds, we brought it down to 3 funds. And today, in each fund, he has got almost around 15 lakh units. And today, at the market price, which is low, he brought the lowest average. Like now, say, for example, in Axis Focus, he got at an average of 20 rupees, total 15 lakh units. And this same Axis Focus in the last year when the market was up had touched 28 rupees. Because of this market fall, it came down to 20 rupees. And this guy bought with 15 lakhs of rupees, almost around 7.5 lakh units today. And before that, he had already accumulated. But his average has come down. And now I'm giving you guarantee by 2021, market will recover because this time it's going to be a U-turn, not a V-shape, because the markets will take some time to recover, at least till December, because the whole world is under recession. But in 2021, markets will pick up like anything and it will go much higher than what it was before. Because now India has got a very soft corner in the sense all the countries are actually eyeing India rather than China. And luckily, yesterday only I was just doing the calculation and I went on Google and I was just looking how many countries has Modi visited in the last 3 years. And you won't imagine he has hugged 69 presidents. 69 country presidents are what have his best friends now. Like even Donald Trump, he came to India at his invitation. Russian president came to India at his invitation. So all the countries are very, very close to his. So if he just says invest in India, immediately money will pour in India, markets will go up like anything. And that is the power what we have with the leader at present to take these markets up. So it is all because of the leadership that we can able to do the things. And investing is one of the best things you can do, but investing is totally different from trading. Trading is buying, selling, and putting your hands in many baskets and just trying out everything and then finally saying it. What I say, the word for trading is called as dating. Dating is for short-term profits, whereas getting married is investing. So that is for long-term profits. So investing and trading are totally different, and saving is just keeping money aside for the rainy day. So if you understand these 3 words, automatically you can decide. If you want to be rich, you need to invest. If you want to remain poor, just keep on saving. And if you want to be in the middle class, just do speculating. Means buy, sell, and keep on booking short-term profits. So that is like middle class. But if you want to grow rich, you have to select a proper company. You have to select either a mutual fund or a shares. But shares is more risky. For shares, I would recommend for people who already have 2 sources of income. If you're already financially free, then go into shares. But if you're not financially free, still start first with mutual funds, because mutual funds is more diversified, risk is lesser than shares. In shares, the risk is more, the returns is more definitely, but the risk is much more. And if you're still depending on one source of income, this risk can cause a lot of problems to you when the markets go down. Like now, I'm investing in both. But my first crore when I made it through mutual funds. Now the second 1 crore which I made it through shares. But it took me 10 years to make my first crore. But now from 1 crore to 2 crores took me just 2 years. And now I know that in the next 3 years, I can easily make it to 10 crores. So it's not difficult now because I've already gained that experience in the last 12 years. But the best part of it is now whatever knowledge I have gained, I don't mind actually sharing, because what I've noticed is the more you give, the more you get. It's like what goes around comes around. So you spread the news, automatically you also start becoming rich. Because finally, rich is not how much you have, rich is how much you give. So the more you give, the more richer you are. So that is how the thing, it doesn't have to be money only. It can be anything. Even now, this financial knowledge, the more people that I make a difference to, if I make the difference to maximum people, automatically I become rich. Because always remember, rich is not how much you have, rich is how much you give. So these three words, if you understand properly, automatically most of the job is done. Means you have to learn what is investing, what is saving, and what is trading. And if in case you make mistakes, it's mostly because we do trading and not investing, because we keep on changing the stocks. Like if you see in the middle class, if you, even the one who is investing into shares, he'll have shares of many companies, but that also will be 10 shares, 20 shares, or maximum 200 shares. With 200 shares, you will never make profits. If you're buying shares, you have to have it at least, if it's a large cap company, with the price it's more than 1,000, you need to have at least 10,000 shares. If it's a company like, say, like what I'm a very strong holder of Apollo Tyres, which is from Chennai itself, like now holding 1 lakh shares of Apollo Tyres, even though the price had gone down to 70, I managed to buy the shares at 70 rupees, which 2 years back in 2018, I bought it for 220 rupees. From 220, it came in 2019, it came down to 160, and now it had come down to 70, and now within 2 days, it's gone up to 90. But now I'm actually trying to get at least 1 lakh shares of it. I will attend a shareholders meeting of Apollo Tyres this time in March. And let me tell you, if you attend an AGM meeting as a shareholder, you are treated like a VIP. And that also is always in a 5-star hotel with lots of gifts for all the shareholders. So imagine attending a shareholders meeting wherein you are sitting at home, you are a shareholder of the company, and that whole company is revolving around the whole of India. And that company is like the main sponsor for Chennai Super Kings, is the main sponsor for Chennai Football Club. So all these things, if you're, and you are a shareholder holding 1 lakh shares of that company, now what will happen? Are you a trader or an investor? That is what exactly is the difference between investing and trading. It is basically dating and getting married. So this is the easiest way to understand this rule. Then rule number 4, because we have less time, is regarding insurance. Always take adequate financial protection against unforeseen events, because what I say is insurance is the foundation to your wealth creation. But unfortunately, if I ask anyone, why did you buy this life insurance policy? Why did you buy this policy? 50 to 60% of people, and especially dentists, will say, I bought this policy because he's one of my patients who forced me to buy it. In the sense, he kept on telling me all the stories of it, and I could not say no to him. And he just said, make this one policy. And what I've observed in most of the dentists, they will have at least 10 to 15 policies, but they will not even know which policy is what. Like, and the total sum assured, because insurance is for protection. If you check the total sum assured, it will not even be more than 50 lakhs of rupees, which means in case you die today, your family gets only 50 lakhs of rupees, which is a compensation like which it will give around 30,000 per month for expenses. Like imagine you are the earning member and your family is dependent. You have children whom you have to take care of their education, you have to take care of their marriage, and suddenly one day you suddenly get a heart attack and you expire, means you pass away. How much is your insurance cover? Have you ever asked what is your net worth on your life? Means what is your human life value? Are you insured for at least 1 crore? Or are you insured for at least 50 lakhs? Or is that I have done 10 policies of 2 lakhs each? Or I have one policy which is of with sum assured of 1 lakh, which means in case you die, the agent has to come with 1 lakh of rupees and give it to your nominee. Is it worth doing this many policies? People buy insurance more for agent satisfaction as well as for tax saving. Nobody I've seen asking that, okay, I want a term insurance so that if in case something happens to me, my family should not suffer financially. Because insurance is only financial protection. You cannot protect any other risk other than financial risk. In insurance, you cannot protect any other risk. Like you cannot protect an emotional risk, or you cannot protect a marriage. You cannot take care of any of this type of risks which are there. The only risk that insurance takes is financial risks. But if you mix insurance with investment and think that, okay, I will get returns for it, then it's basically a saving. That is not an investment. It is just a saving for the future. And in this, your returns will never beat inflation. In the sense, the amount of growth in it, by the time it gets matured, will not even be the cost what you'll be able to pay even 1 month's fees for the child's education. So you will not have the time to put. So if you don't take a proper term insurance, if you don't take a proper mediclaim cover, that means you're putting yourself into risk and you're putting your money to risk. So insurance is basically the foundation. It's like if you don't have this foundation, by the time you reach the third floor, the whole building will collapse with a small earthquake. With just a small trigger, the whole building will collapse. So insurance is basically your foundation to wealth creation. So if you want to protect your wealth, if you want to protect, you have to have insurance. And let me tell you, there's a simple formula. The maximum amount that you should put towards insurance is 5% of your monthly income. And the maximum you should put for your investments is at least 25% of your salary, and manage your expenses within 70% of your salary. So 70% is for expense, 25% is for investment, 5% for insurance. If you just follow this formula for just the next 100 months, let me tell you, your second cake of passive income is already ready. But if you keep on cutting this tree within 2 or 3 years, because in the first 5 years, this tree grows only underground, it doesn't grow above ground. This money plant is it's like all the other plants. Any fruit bearing plant and this money plant is almost the same. The first 5 years, the growth will not be more than 1 meter tall. But then I was wondering why it's not growing, and go to see this money plant grows below ground so that the roots are firm first. So you accumulate maximum units when the thing is there. And then from the 5th year, you'll start seeing the growth starts becoming much faster. And by the time you reach the 7th or 8th year, you'll start getting fruits out of it. And the best part is, first year, second year, you'll enjoy the fruits. But from the 4th year, 5th year onwards, the fruits become so much that you can't enjoy it yourself. You have to give it to your neighbors. And let me tell you, if you accumulate those fruits and keep it in the bank, it will get rotten. But the moment you start giving it to your neighbors, the plant will start giving you more fruits. And that is what is called being rich. Having money and not being able to give is basically wealthy. That is not rich. But if you're distributing the same mangoes, what you're getting from your mango tree, and helping others to get it, like those who have unfortunate people and not, automatically your money plant will start growing much faster. And this is how you can actually grow. So financial protection, very, very important, because if you don't have proper insurance, it means you don't love your family and you don't take care of your money. It's like having a car without a stepney. And only when the puncture happens, then you'll come to know why insurance is important. And most of the people, like dentists, I'll tell you now, their car is insured more than themselves. Like you won't imagine, you pay so much of insurance for your car, but on your life insurance, you forget it. So which means if both of you meet with an accident, the car is more important than you. And check and see whether your car is insured and see how much is their premium for that car. And check your term insurance, it will be 1/4 that cost. Like I'll give you an example. A Maruti car, like say a Maruti Baleno, say costing around 8 lakhs of rupees. The premium comes to almost 23,000 rupees per year. Take a term insurance of 1 crore, it will be 23,000 for a person who is at the age of 30 or 40 years. So now 1 crore, 23,000. Here 5 or 7 lakhs, 23,000. You are ready to pay your car insurance, but you are not ready to pay your life insurance. Why? Because you feel in the life insurance, I will not get any money back. So that's why I should not take the term insurance at all. Instead of that, I prefer getting money back and putting my money as savings into life insurance policies. And let me tell you, you put your money in life insurance. Luckily, 20 years back, India was a poor country with interest rates of 18%. Today, India is becoming the 5th richest country. Interest rate has come down to 5%. Wait for another 2 years, it will touch 4%. And by the time we complete another 5 years, we will be exactly in line with America, UK, Japan, all the rich countries where interest rate is 1%. So keeping money in the debt funds and keeping money in life insurance, your the policy will take 25 years to double, whereas inflation will double every 5 years. So mixing insurance with investments is totally a wrong mistake. This is the biggest mistake which all of us do, thinking that insurance is an investment. So insurance is required, and it is basically the foundation to your wealth creation. So now I'll give you the last 5th rule, because we are already another 5 minutes there. But to grow rich, you need to associate and learn from the rich. In fact, for this, I always say, if suppose by chance you want to climb Mount Everest, you might try doing it yourself, but the maximum you'll reach is to the base camp. Once you reach to the base camp, when you see the risk involved in climbing Everest, you will definitely start searching for a Sherpa, someone who can guide you along and take you along with you. And the best part is when you're selecting the Sherpa, the first question you'll ask him is, have you at least been there once? You will not select a Sherpa who has never been to Mount Everest. So if you want to reach to Mount Everest, you have to go with someone who is already there, been there for some time. So what happens is whenever you select your financial advisor, first check if that financial advisor is doing it as a part-time business, or is he doing like just because he has got a chance to become a life insurance agent, he says I'm a financial advisor, because even 12th standard pass can become a financial advisor. Means anybody, even 10th standard pass, but coming from a rural pin code, they can take an LIC license. Anybody can take. So anybody takes a LIC license, and LIC has got, and all the life insurance companies have got a very good trick. First year, they give very good incentives, but for renewals, there are no incentives, and they keep on asking them to make new policies. So now they will come and ask you, doctor, how much can you spend per month for your insurance? So say, suppose you say, I can put it around 10,000 per month. So your total is 1 lakh per, 1,20,000 per year. So they'll say, I'll give you a very good insurance plan with the magic formula. So that 1,20,000, they will split it up into 6 policies, one maturing at 20 years, 21 years, 22, 23, 24, 25. So now they'll say, from your 20th onwards, you will be getting 4 lakhs of rupees as due. So you feel good, for 5 years I'll get. But I'm making 6 policies instead of making 1. Why? Because they have to complete a target of 12 policies. But from your one case, I've managed to do 12 Jivan Anand policies. So with that, my target is over, so I'm okay. So this is what the agents will do. But we as dentists will never be aware. Because why? Because either they are medical reps or there's someone else who have taken this as a part-time, and they will force on us to buy life insurance policies as investments. So never mix insurance with investments. And to grow rich, whenever you select your financial advisor, please first find out whether he himself is rich, and then only you can become rich. Because if you want to be, like say suppose you want to get selected in the World Cup and you want to win the World Cup, like now the Indian cricket team, whenever it selects its coaches, I don't know whether you have seen, they will always select a coach who has represented a World Cup winning team. Like now, if Ravi Shastri is today the India's coach, it is because he was a coach of, he was a part of the Indian winning team, and that's how he has remained a coach. Like if you see any coaches, they have to first achieve, and then they look at their credentials, and then only they are appointed as coaches. But what we do is someone who just walks in and says, I'm a financial advisor, I'll do anything with him. And most of the time they are, because they are family relatives or some far off relatives, we just to satisfy, we just keep on doing investment because we have no goals in mind. So my only message today is, if you want to enjoy dentistry, focus on a goal wherein you can create a passive income which is more than your earned income. The moment you start making money while sleeping, let me tell you, you will stop running after money, but money will come start running to you. So the moment you start making money without working, that is the time when you'll enjoy dentistry, and you will never look at the patient at the money aspect of it. You will look at the patient towards the treatment part of it and say that if I'm treating and I'm able to treat this patient, let me treat. Money is my secondary option. I don't have to focus on money. Even if some other dentist is charging that much, I'm not worried. Let him charge how much he wants. Because in my case, I have money working for me. I don't want to be a slave of money. Money should be my slave. And this is what rich people do. So with this, I will like to end up this presentation exactly because that is the time limit given. If you have any questions, if you can this, we have the email IDs there, plus my mobile number I've shared on the slide. If you have on WhatsApp, you can always get in touch through WhatsApp or through the email, because it's always open. Only thing, if you are sending it through WhatsApp, then please introduce yourself first, because we get a lot of people whom I don't even know. So if you introduce yourself, then we can be in touch with you on the WhatsApp continuously, and we can help you as far as deciding the financial status is concerned and how to get your investments done. All this can be done at one shot. Okay, so now I open up for questions. I hope the thing was okay within time, because yes, exceeded by 5 minutes, because I thought I would finish it by 10:45. Now it's 10:50. So it's up to you. Over to you, Dr. Subramaniam. You
Yes,
can
sir.
moderate the thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Jimson, you activate your mic. Dr. Jimson, you have to tell me what are the questions on YouTube. So here's a question.
Yeah.
I'm 38 years old. I
Okay.
have 25 lakhs sleeping in my FD.
Okay.
Can I leave it like that, or can I distribute these funds to do some work for me?
Okay. Now the thing is like, okay, I'll give you this. Now, if you keep it in an FD, the first thing is now the interest rate has come down to almost 5.25. And on this interest, you'll be paying 30% tax. Okay. So that finally the interest rate which you'll get will be just somewhere around 4.25% after cutting TDS. Now, if you want the money in this very short term, like you need this money within 1 year, we have something what we call it as debt funds or liquid funds or bond funds, which are basically guaranteed like the bank deposits, but there is liquidity, and this at present is giving you 6 to 7% returns. And the best advantage of liquid funds over FD is in liquid funds there is no exit load, so you can take out how much you want, you can put how much you want. Like now, say for example, I have 25 lakhs, but I need only 1 lakh. I will have to break the FD, but in liquid funds, I can redeem 1 lakh within 12 hours. It is there in my account. Now I want to add another 5 lakhs to it. I'll have to make a new FD, whereas in liquid fund, I can just add it in that. But this is if I need the money within the next 1 year or 1.5 years. But if I don't need it in the next 1 year, then I better invest it rather than save it. If I need it, say within 2 years' time, then I better put it into a balanced fund, which is half equity, half debt. So at least I get the risk is taken care of. I don't have much problem. But if I need this money for my retirement, which is another 5 years from now, then I start putting it into equity. But keeping money in FD, because I don't know whether you're aware, last month, in the month of March, the moment RBI declared this interest rates drop, wherein they dropped down the repo rate as well as the reverse repo rate, automatically it was almost 12,000 crores of rupees which came into mutual funds in 1 month. And that was the highest collection for mutual funds in this March. And that is what made the market go up again from where it fell. And now the inflow into mutual funds has increased tremendously. And what America is, we are exactly around 8 to 10 years behind them. In America, nobody keeps money in the banks, nobody keeps there because the interest rate is just 1%. And today it is 0%. Now currently in America it is 0%. So now what happens is India is also reaching to that level, but it will take 7 to 8 years for it to come to 1%. Now currently it has just come to 5. 20 years back in 1980, it was 18%. Every 10 years, it has reduced by 3%. Like now from 18, it came to 15 in the year 9, I mean, in 2000, in 1990. Then in 2000, it came down to 12%. In 2010, it can come down to 9%. Today, it has come down below 6% in 2020. So wait for another 10 years, it will be somewhere around 3% FDs. So if you keep it in your FD, it will not even beat inflation. So which means your FD now currently will take 14 years to double. Whereas you put it in equity, in 5 years it's double, in 8 years it's 4 times, in 10 years by the time it will be almost 10 times. So that is the difference between investment and saving. So if you want to save it, then keep it in the bank. But if you want to invest it, then you need to invest. Yeah.
Sir, thank you, sir. The second question is, which term insurance we have to go in for, which you advise for?
Okay. No, the thing is, see, like this now, what happens is, as far as term insurance, there are two options. Either you do an online term insurance or you do it through an advisor. Now, as far as companies are concerned, the main thing you have to look is the after sales service. Now, if you do it through online, the premium is 15% cheaper than the ones which you do offline. If you do it like through a local advisor, it will be somewhere around 15% extra as compared to online term plans. But the difficulty in online term plans is when you're doing it, you're directly doing it with the head office, which is either in Mumbai or in Gurgaon. So there are head offices which are there, and you are bypassing the local office. So whichever policies are done online, like say for example in Max Life or even in LIC, if you do an online policy, the local office will not service you because it's done online. So now say suppose you want to pay renewals or you want to do the checks are not accepted at the local offices. Even claim settlement is not done at the local office. You have to do it online through the head office. So that process of claim settlement is much more difficult as compared to doing this. So automatically what happens is, but when you do it at the local level, if you have an advisor who will service you, the best is to do at local level, you will be able to do the things. So you have to see how exactly you're getting the thing organized. And as far as the premium is concerned, like we have a formula wherein it can even be made free of cost for you by attaching it to an SIP. Like I'll just give you an example. Suppose by chance your premium is now 30,000 per year for 1 crore. And you take a limited pay, you can pay it for say, means if you take a limited pay of say 10 years, like I'll give you an example. Yesterday I gave one client, she is 48 years of age and she took a 1 crore plus 50 lakh means accident rider, in the sense, if in case she doesn't die but becomes permanently disabled, she gets 50 lakhs straight away. And if she dies in an accident, then her family gets 1 crore 50 lakhs. Now she is 48 years old. So now for her, for that premium, if she had to pay regular, means now from 48, to pay regular right up till the age of 75, means up to the age of 85, her premium was coming to around 30,000. But if she's ready to pay somewhere around 80,000 per year for 10 years, so the total premium is, one second, the slideshow, I can't see the face. 1 minute. Yeah, now the thing is, say for example, now her premium came to around 80,000, wherein she got a 10 pay option. So which means from 48 years till 58, she'll pay total 8 lakhs for a property of 1.5 crore. Okay, she's insured from day one for 1.5 crore, but she is paying 80,000 per year for 10 years, but her insurance will continue right up till the age of 85. So which means, but only thing is, she won't be getting money back if in case nothing happens. But this is term insurance. But now what has happened? I have insured her for 1.5 crore by just taking 80,000 from her portfolio, and that also for 10 years. So now what we have done, we have started one SIP of 10,000 per month in a liquid fund. And that also what we'll be doing. So every month she'll be putting 10,000, which will grow at a rate of 6%. And every year in the month of April on the due date, she will do a systemic withdrawal of 80,000 from there. She's actually saving 1,20,000. And from that 1,20,000, we are taking out 80,000 per year. And after the 5th year, there is enough of balance, which will take care of the next 5 years premiums. So because the money is also growing at 6%, and from there systemic withdrawal is being done at 80,000 per year. So at the end of 5 years, she'll have a balance of almost 4 lakh rupees still there. And this 4 lakhs is still growing at 6%. And from there, she's taking out 80,000 for the next 5 years. So finally, what happens is she has ended up paying the 12 lakhs of rupees only for 5 years, means 1,20,000, which means she has paid just 6 lakhs instead of paying total 8 lakhs for the premium. And the insurance of 1.5 crore remains right up to the age of 85. So anytime she dies, her family will get 1 crore 85 lakhs. Means 1 crore 50 lakhs. So that is how insurance is done. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, another question is little intriguing. Like I have unaccounted money of 10 lakhs. How do you make it?
Okay, now that all depends on how see, you have to, in your IT returns, it all depends on how much you show as your income, because based on income, that only that much you can invest. Because if you don't show it in your IT returns, you cannot invest it. And the biggest joy which I like about this mutual funds is I'm having like a portfolio of now almost touching 2 crores in mutual funds. I don't pay 1 rupee tax unless I redeem it. Only when I sell those units and make capital gains of more than 1 lakh, then I pay tax. Whereas if the same money I had to keep it in the bank, I would have paid a TDS of more than around 8 to 9 lakhs only on that tax. Whereas when I keep it in mutual funds, my tax is 0. Because unless and until I redeem, and that also when I'm doing redemptions of 1 lakh per month, that is through systemic withdrawal. And my total capital gains on this 1 lakh per month, which is 12 lakhs per year, is not even crossing more than 80,000 rupees. So up to 1 lakh, there is no tax. So even I'm getting a pension of 1 lakh per year, per month, but totally tax free. But if I keep the same money into a life insurance policy and take a pension, they give me pension at the rate of 6%. And on top of that, that pension is added to my taxable income. So automatically I end up paying more tax as compared to putting it into mutual funds and shares. Shares and mutual funds, you pay tax only when you sell, not when you hold.
Yes, sir. Sir, the second question is, what is your advice about foreclosure of home loans at present
Okay.
when FD interest is?
Yeah, now the home loans, what has happened is, one thing is if you're taking tax benefit on it, because there are tax benefits on home loans, in the sense the interest part of it also you get benefit, and the principal amount also there is tax benefit on it. And fortunately now what is happening is home loan interest rates are coming down. As of now, it has touched 7%. From 8, they have reduced it to 7% now. And very soon, as per what I know, even Modi had declared one that he has a theme called Housing Affordable for All by 2022, which means he has a dream of bringing down home loans to 6%. And the best part of it is, because the real estate industry is bit suffering now, what they want is they want the home loan rates to come down. So there is a pressure, and the home loan rates, if they touch by 6%, then people at least will start buying homes, because 6% is much cheaper as compared to what they were paying 8 to 9%. So the buying will start increasing in the real estate once the interest rate comes down. Like even now, because of that 1% interest rate drop, automatically now real estate will start picking up because the loans are much cheaper. So now, if you want to close your home loans, definitely you can close it, but provided you have financial saving. But better than that would be invest your money and take the maximum benefit out of it. Because like now, say for example, if I'll just give you an example, on one side I'm paying 8% interest, on the other side I'm gaining 12% interest. What would you prefer?
True, 12%.
Naturally. So then you have to calculate and see. But if in case you're already in the stage where you're almost 50, after 50, you should not have any loans, because the thing is, once you cross 50, if you have EMIs to be paid, automatically your diabetes will start increasing. That is for sure. And what we have a study from WHO is, if you don't become financially free by 55, which means you have still more liabilities to be paid even after 55, you will not live beyond 65.
Yeah.
If you become financially free by 55, you will live beyond 75. So financial freedom is what can actually give you longer life. And
Yes,
what is financial freedom? Means not working for money, but money working for you.
Yes, sir. Sir, thanks for your explanation, sir.
Yeah.
The next question is regarding post office schemes. Will it give more interest, or is it safe to invest in post office schemes?
Not at all. The post office is also keeping money with RBI only. And now the RBI rate has come down to 4%. There is something what RBI declares as a repo rate. Repo rate is the amount at which, suppose someone institution keeps the money with RBI, they give that institution that percent. And now the reverse repo rate has come to 4%. I'm giving guarantee even postal, the interest rate will come down to 5% maximum. So keeping it in the post office for 6 years, 10 years, and plus paying TDS on that is not worth it at all.
Okay, sir. And the thing is, most of our deposits are in the bank. How do we know whether our bank is safe or not? Is there, if there are any indication that our bank is failing?
Not exactly. See, RBI controls all the banks. So what happens is they will not allow any money of the depositors to be in trouble, because there is something what we call it as SLR, means there is a safety liquidity ratio which the banks have to keep with the RBI in order to start operating a bank. Like now take for example Yes Bank, which has happened recently. So what has happened is, automatically the moment they started finding that the SLR ratio was going down, they immediately told them to stop operations till there came a revival wherein SBI bought its shares, and then now the thing is getting merged. So, but not a single customer has ever lost money in any bank, except previously, say 3-4 years back, yes, when the regulations were not strict. But now RBI has taken care of all those regulations, and they have ensured that for a bank to function, first the protection to the investors is important. So they are maintaining that investor means protection part of it, that RBI takes care of all these things. Nobody has lost money as such. Banks have merged, and RBI is also merging the small banks into this so that they can reduce the NPAs, because the non-performing assets were too many. So now all the banks which had high non-performing assets have been merged already into two, 3 banks have been merged together, and with that merger, automatically the cost is reduced. So because the cost and the expense is reducing, the banks are giving much better services now. So banking is one thing which is regulated totally by RBI, and RBI takes care of the clients first more than the banks. So that you don't have to worry about the banks closing down. And preferably put it in a nationalized bank. Why do you need to go for a small cooperative or some new bank which comes up? But no bank will actually close down easily.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. The question here are all related to mutual fund only. Sir, can you please suggest a mutual fund where I can invest now? Is SIP beneficial, or sir, which mutual fund is advised, large cap or mid cap? These are the 3 questions
I
on
think
mutual
we will have to take another session on this. I will not be able to explain. This will take another 1 hour.
Yeah, true.
I cannot explain this in 1 minute. It's very, very difficult.
Can we purchase gold bond?
Gold bonds, if you're a saver, it's good enough, but it's just the save. It's like a fixed deposit. But the thing is, what will happen is your original price will be maintained, and whatever is the growth on the price of gold will be given at the end of 6.5 years. So you can expect somewhere around, say, 4 to 5% returns on it, not more than that.
Yes, sir.
And
Sir,
on top of that, TDS is there on that. It's not tax free.
yes, sir. Rest of the questions which we are asked about is all about support plans during this crisis of professional crisis.
That's
so
true.
how do we financially government will the government support financially because dentistry is considered as small scale industries? Is there any rule in the constitution that a failing industry should be financially supported by the government? All these questions have been asked.
Not at all.
So,
Whatever the fiscal measures the government takes, it takes only for BPL families. You have to have the income less than 60,000 per year to get a government grant now.
yes, sir.
If your income is less than 60,000, government will take care of everything of yours. They'll give you at 2 rupees kilo, the rice, sugar, everything they'll give at 2 rupees.
Yes,
But you have to have that BPL card, and you have to have your other card linked to your bank account.
Oh, okay.
Because the money now goes to the bank, it doesn't come to you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, I think you have to give us a concluding remark for all that you have spoken from for the past 1 hour, sir.
Okay, the concluding remark I would suggest is, imagine if today your thumb is cut due to accident. Okay, just imagine if today your thumb is cut due to some accident. How would you manage your practice, and how would you manage your finances? That's all.
Yes.
But when it will happen, I don't know. That is not in my hands. I'm just saying, imagine if by chance due to an accident, your thumb goes off from your hand.
Right.
And you're not able to hold instruments.
Yes.
What would you do after that? Just think of that answer, and that will give you the full solution.
True. Yes, sir.
That's all. Because that was the question I asked when I was 39 years of age in 2008.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you once again for the pleasure of explaining in short whatever I could explain in those 5 golden rules. But in case by chance you're interested in learning more about it, definitely, because I feel that financial literacy is the best weapon to eradicate corruption. Because you will not be, actually speaking, once you become financially free, you cannot actually be corrupt.
That is true.
So definitely even our ethics will start improving. We will start treating patients with consideration rather than with that financial aspect part of it.
Yes, sir.
And if that happens, it's like a big change as far as the dentistry is concerned. And I want that patient should come and touch your feet.
Yes, sir.
That's and not talk behind the back saying that this fellow is overcharging me and this fellow is only running after money.
Yes, yes.
So that is, and this is all financial literacy, nothing else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So we will have another 2-3 sessions to improve on this financial literacy. and probably Dr. Reena will inform you in
Yeah,
this
sure.
COVID vacation. Probably we will catch you up in another 2-3 weeks.
Definitely, anytime.
Is there any,
And I'm always in touch
is
with
there
Jimson.
any
You can also be there anytime.
is there any questions from Jimson? Jimson, please activate your mic.
Yeah.
Jimson,
Thank you for
is
the
there
wonderful
anything?
presentation. We had a very good feedback, and I think a lot of youngsters have participated in this lecture. Have heard you in both YouTube as well as here, and thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the President, Dr. Reena John, for having introduced you to us and then bringing us here. Thank you. And as Dr. Subramaniam said, I think we'll coordinate with you again, and we'd like to have you on air, and then we'll take it from here, because it's hardly 50 minutes, and there are quite a few questions which have come up, which I'm sure we'll not be able to, like what you said about the mutual fund and everything, we'll not be able to discuss within few minutes. So that's a very big topic as such. And then thank you once again on behalf of the Association of Oral Maxillofacial Surgeons of India, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry branch, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you.